Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back once again to Phatkat Collections. Got another Nubeo watch for you folks. And this one is one I've had on my radar for quite some time now. A lot of times Nubeo will release watches on their site, and sometimes, from my experience with at least getting them as an influencer, they aren't always readily available. So sometimes they will list on their site sold out, and then suddenly they'll become available. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you see something you really like, keep checking back. I put the link in the description. By all means, use my coupon code. A lot of time this coupon code will work when they have sale pricing. It just depends on the model that they're selling and the price point they're coming in at. Now, Nubeo is a fantastic brand. You guys know I've been harping on this brand for quite some time now. And what I really like about this brand is that they're constantly coming out with new models. And that's really important for us guys who really enjoy, having a big collection of watches. You know, this isn't really, not to say a guy couldn't buy one Nubeo watch and call it a day, but generally, these are fun watches, right? When a guy who's not a collector, a guy who doesn't really enjoy accessorizing, buys a watch, he's buying a watch mainly for the purpose of telling time. Many people do that, right? They may buy a Rolex, they may buy an Omega, they may buy an inexpensive Timex or a Seiko, whatever the case may be. But generally, folks, tend to not collect those brands. One, luxury brands are really expensive. Unless you're really well off, you may not have multiple watches of like a Rolex or an Omega, right? But people with brands like this tend to collect the brand. And I think it's really interesting. And it's an interesting, for instance, right? Let's just look at some of the other watches. There are other brands under Dartmouth. And Dartmouth is the company that owns Nubeo and RGMT and AVI8 and several different brands. I've mentioned it many times on this channel. By all means, you can always find the links in the description. Check out my playlist. You can see the Dartmouth brand playlist, which will give you all the different brands they have and some of the models that I've reviewed. But and I hope this makes sense, when I look at some of their other brands, like AVI8, that might draw a collector. Earnshaw, totally dig them, like a lot of their watches, but each model, they're like a lot of skeletonized watches, right? A lot of them, not all of them. Don't come back and be like, well, I found one that's not Phatkat. I understand. But I don't necessarily know if somebody's going to buy multiple units of one of those brands. And there's other brands that they have, right? With Nubeo, I just feel like this is like building Nubeo collectors. You know what I mean? Kind of like when people look at Invicta, Aragon. They like the brand so much, and each model is so different and unique and tells a story that you want to add more to your collection. I think they're doing a great job with tapping into the collector folks, the collectors in the watch community. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So, all right, so the one we're going to talk about today is this moss green variation, and I'm probably going to screw this up. I think it's Huygens. It's Huygens. You'd think I would look this up beforehand, but you guys know I like to keep it raw, real, unedited. I'm not a professional guy trying to tell you why you should buy this watch. I'm just an avid enthusiast who just really appreciates all watches, and I love wearing a new watch. So check this one out. Now, for those who've been watching me for a while, I'm not a green fan, right? I'm not really. This is like the only green shirt. Maybe I have one other one in my collection of clothing. And green is just not a color that I really gravitate towards. I've had green watches in the past. Sometimes they were collaborations. I think I had, what did I have? A NBS, one of their heavy armors. It was green, and I didn't have an option when they sent that to me. And I was like, I just never wore it. So, I don't know. Green doesn't really do much for me. However, again, if you've been watching me for a while, I have been looking for a green and gold watch. Now, this one obviously is mainly green and it's on a white strap, but it kind of, I guess, fills the void in my collection for a green watch. And I really dig this one. I knew as soon as I saw this specific model, I mentioned it other times too, when you look at a website, whether it's Nubeo or RGMT or Invicta or Aragon, whatever website you're going to, whatever watch company, right? You're going to look and you're going to scroll through all the different watches and you're going to find one that really speaks to you. And that's what I always talk about. Don't buy a watch for the approval of others, for how others may judge you. Buy a watch because you really enjoy the way it looks, right? It doesn't really matter if it's big or small. Ultimately, it's a reflection, it's an expression of your taste and your style. And no matter what your style is, some folks will say my style is ridiculous with, wearing a big giant 60mm watch, but these are just hateful people who just feel the need to interject their opinions where they're really not wanted, right? There's different, you ever hear the saying, there's different strokes for different folks? Absolutely. So, another Nubeo, another color I don't have in my collection is a purple one. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to request one of their purple models. So, again, it's a lot of fun to have these different color variations. And if you are a a spicy, flavorful man, and lady too, you ladies can rock this, you know, they give you a lot of variety, and it's a lot of fun, right? And I think that's, you know, not to branch off again and digress into a different topic, but I do think that, you know, life is meant to be fun. And we're all going to have ups and downs. We're all going to have times where it's stressful and, you know, you're feeling good or feeling bad. I mean, you know, it's a roller coaster, right? But stuff like this is fun, you know, and I don't believe, you know, again, collect how you want, but I don't believe this isn't meant to be taken seriously. Just like, you know, you put on a pair of jeans or a nice shirt, you know, of course you want to take care of your things, but this is fun to collect. And you shouldn't be wearing something if you're worried about, ooh, the depreciation, or you shouldn't be buying something if you're concerned with, oh, well, what if I can get my money back? If you're buying things because they bring you happiness and you enjoy wearing them. So that's number one checkbox when it comes to buying a watch is, do you like it? Is it a watch that speaks to you? This watch, definitely. Scrolling through, saw the green, had to I had to choose other colors, whatever I wanted, right? But this one really spoke to me, so I dig it. I love the green. It's a really kind of almost like, I use the word anodized. I don't believe you can anodize stainless steel, but I'm not really sure. Correct me, you know, I'm not sure, but it has a green anodized look, right? It's what you look like, what aluminum would look like if it's anodized. So again, you have the white silicone strap. I mentioned every video, anytime, whatever, if ever, I get a watch on silicone that fails or deteriorates, like I've heard some folks have that problem with Invicta, you know, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to talk to the company and see, you know, and see what changes can be made, right? I always feel like no matter, and I like to share my opinions with companies, even though they send me free stuff. I work, you know, indirectly for them, right? I mean, they send me watches, I give my opinion, I put up a video. It's, you know, it's a relationship, but I still want to be honest with the guys watching me, because you may spend your money on stuff. And I've always said that companies, when they make watches, you know, especially when they have proprietary straps, I feel like you can get the same look with producing a watch that it could take a standard silicone strap or a replacement strap or metal, because just in some, I don't know what's going to happen with these down the road, right? But if by some chance, you know, the strap fails, or you rip it, or you do damage it, right? You want to be able to put something else on it. Now this watch, I can't speak to what's underneath here. It's got like hidden lugs. So I don't know what this looks like. I don't know if there's a push pin under here. I don't know if this is sandwiched, and I'm not going to take it apart. I'm just going to wear it and enjoy it. And again, when watches like this, you know, if you're spending 150 grand for a Richard Mille, which is kind of what this is, you know, kind of gives you that vibe. You know, you should be more concerned with that. You know, with this, you know, again, the price on this, $1,300 on sale for $840. Throw my coupon code on there. I think they even have another 50% off right now, so you're getting this. So we're gonna go to the cart and see what kind of pricing we get. But you know, you don't have to be as concerned with that. You know, so that's just my 2 cents. So number one, do you like it? Totally dig it, right? You may not. You may not like the green, but there's other options on there. Check them out. Link is in the description. So also, all right, so what do I like about this? So I'm going to read you right about, I'm going to read you right off their website, like I always do, what they say. So they say that Huygens, and I'm sorry if I screw this up, but we're just going to call it the Huygens. The Huygens probe was launched on October 15, 1997 to study the smog-like atmosphere of Titan, Saturn's largest moon. This timepiece features a 43mm tonneau-shaped case, a case which I've said many times I really like, with a Japanese automatic movement and a see-through design. And these are limited to 500p. So, specifications. Again, I can't give you the exact movement. You know, at a later date, I will put those movements in the description. I can't give them to you if Nubeo doesn't put them on the website. Now, my contact has provided a list of movements in the past for some of the other models I reviewed, but there's always going to be that delay. Maybe we can get on some kind of program that maybe when they send me watches, they can research this and, or just, you know, look up what they used and give me that information. But based on the other watches that Nubeo has produced, with the other movement list that I have, you know, when they say Japanese automatic, they're either using a Miyota or an NH series Seiko most of the time. So again, if that's a checkbox for you, you know, that may dissuade you from buying a watch without knowing the actual movement. So just kind of, you know, again, keep that in mind. So what else do we get? We get a 43mm case diameter. Again, tonneau-shaped rectangular watches always wear larger. 43, you know, is kind of like small, really, for guys who like big watches. But remember, you're looking at 43 on this, just left and right. you know, it's a lot larger if we look at it lengthwise. So 16 millimeters case thickness, nice, thick, chunky. With a smaller watch, I always feel like it's nice when you have that thickness because it definitely gives it that taller wrist presence. It's more noticeable, if of course that's what you're going for. If you want to blend in like everybody else, just go get a Rolex. We have an anti-reflective coated mineral lens. No sapphire on this, but I know that is a checkbox for many folks. But guys, I've never scratched any crystal. So it's mineral, it's going to be scratch resistant. Remember, the argument is not that if you don't have sapphire, you risk scratching your watch. They're all pretty good, right? 26 millimeter silicone strap with buckle. Of course, all straps are going to have a buckle. It is a branded Nubeo buckle on there. And again, 316 stainless steel, 5 ATMs of water resistance. And what's cool about this, and hopefully you can see, it's totally skeletonized. So you can see right through it, which is pretty cool. And you have the movement, which is a rather small movement, extremely small. I don't know which, this is definitely not an NH35 because it's, if you look at the Pro back here, kind of like this is how they theme these in here. They put like this kind of stick figure sketch of the Huygens probe, which again, you know, when they make these themed watches, it's a loose, I think, reference to, it's a loose kind of theme because really if you don't have that on there, there's really nothing else that makes this watch themed, right, other than having that on there. So again, Nubeo, sometimes they do a great job at theming their watches. Other times it's a loose kind of, you know, representation of a themed watch. You know, it's not like we have anything that really signifies this Huygens probe on here. When you look at it, you know, if it's like some watches, if you look at some of their like ocean theme watches, like the Thresher, you know, you can see like the shark teeth on there. You know, the bezel's very jagged, like you might find on a shark teeth. So it kind of like the themes is done a little better on that. But you know, this is, you know, this could very easily be themed really anything you want if you just want to put a small, you know, sketch on the back. So, but still, it's still cool. You know, it's still, that's kind of what they do. You have your space themed watches and your dive watches or your ocean themed watch. So, you know, they got to do something on it. You know, it's just, they do it on every watch. So, you know, some are better than others. But overall, though, as far as the look, you know, it's gorgeous. Kind of similar to the other watch that I've reviewed many times. I think I have like 8 color variations. The Magellan, different. This has got like a nice thicker, taller wrist presence. I totally dig this. This one almost reminds me of, which is the other one I reviewed here. Let's see here. It is the, we go back here. They have so many different models now. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Maven, which has got a dual barrel balance wheel in it, which very similar, but they just kind of like change the shape to Tanu as opposed to rectangular. So, you know, very cool. I dig this watch. I think this is one I'll probably request another color down the road. As far as colors, let's see what they got here. Oops, go to their website here. We have Huygens. Man, every time I go to the site, there's like another Nubeo on there. So they have it in a kind of a orange and silver. I'm just calling, there's names to each color, but I'm just going to say red, silver, and we're going to call that orange because it's got an orange strap. Silver case, we get the red. So we have 5 different color variations. The green strap with black face and then blue on blue. So, you know, only one silver variation. Silver is going to be, or raw stainless is going to be the most, I think, popular color, but when you go throwing an orange strap on it, they probably should have done one silver and black. That's always like the most neutral, but still, you know, I mean, if you don't like it, there's other options you can get there. But in a later date, they probably will come out with more colors of this. So very cool looking watch. Like I said, when I look at the website, this one just really, I don't know, the green and white just really kind of popped. Very cool. You can see how small that movement is. A very small automatic movement. I wish I knew which one this was, and I do apologize. But, you know, at a later date, I'll find out. But it has got a teeny little rotor on it. I honestly didn't think they made automatic movements that small. So that's pretty awesome. Signed crown, of course. You know, a lot of these videos, non-screw down. A lot of these videos, you know, when I share a watch with you folks, it's, you know, we're kind of going over the same thing. You know, does it have a signed crown, signed buckle? You know, how much branding's on it? You know, what kind of crystal? Kind of the basics. But that's pretty much what you get in a watch review, right? This is a stunning piece. All right, so without further ado, let's throw it on the wrist. I didn't show you the box today. I'm not going to bother. You can, click the link and check it out. It's a cool dive case. So I have a 7-inch wrist. I weigh about 175 pounds, and I'm 5'8". So you can see this watch, big, bold, beautiful wrist presence. Anytime that you have a tonneau-shaped watch, it appears to be larger than it is. The old saying in the watch community, it wears larger, which I always say I hate. In this case, this is one of these watches where I agree with that. It's a big watch, and if you are a fan of that Richard Mille look, I feel like, I don't know if they are the ones who kind of made that look, if they're the first ones or not. Anytime we take a tonneau shape and we throw a silicone strap on it, make it colorful, people refer to it as Richard Mille, and I get why. And I think sometimes we do that because, luxury brands have deep pockets, huge marketing campaigns, and, we see this stuff. People love to live through others on the internet. I mean, we know this by now. And I think when you look at watches and luxury watches popping up and people looking at YouTube, what's going to pop up more? A Nubeo watch? What's going to be really pushed more? A Nubeo watch or a Richard Mille? Of course, Richard Mille, because people like to look at things that are unobtainable, right? That a lot of times they do. So I feel like, I don't know if this is what they're going for with that look, but again, it's its own thing. It's not like they're trying to completely copy Richard Mille. It's just like when everybody sees, a 3-link bracelet, stainless steel with a dive watch, with a ceramic bezel, people are like, oh, it's a copy of a Rolex. Well, not really. Rolex, some folks say Rolex is a copy or a homage of a Blanc Pain, 50 fathoms, right? People are always going to say stuff, what are you going to do? But overall, again, coming back to checkbox number 1, do you like it? And I absolutely love this watch. I think it's fantastic. I love the green and white. And like the quality of all Nubeo watches, it's fantastic. Now, just full disclosure, so you guys know, like when I do these videos, this is, it's all affiliate, right? You guys use my link. If you find value in the video, it's an affiliate link. I get a small commission back anytime you buy a watch. Thank you if you use it, right? But I'll tell you, some folks, some folks might be watching these Nubeo reviews and saying, oh, well, I'll kind of wait and see if they become established, see what people say about them. I refer a lot of Nubeo watches throughout last year. So, there's a lot out there right now. I'm not going to disclose my, my earnings on that. I'm not going to disclose how much they've done. That's between me and Nubeo. But I can assure you they are selling watches, and they're doing a fantastic job coming out with new designs. So, look at the buzz. You hear anybody complaining? You see anybody putting up negative videos like they do with Invicta? Maybe once they become super popular, like super big like Invicta or Aragon, they might, but take all that with a grain of salt. Ultimately, you have to decide what's going to be best for you. Downside to the internet, you kind of depend on influencers and guys like me a lot of times because these are watches, these micro brands, you just can't go into a store and try them on. But I can assure you, if you like Invicta, if you like Aragon, if you like that quality, you will love the quality with this watch and any of the Dartmouth brands. In all honesty, most watches you buy out there, now, unless you're paying $20 to $30 for a watch, you're going to get nice quality. So let's close on this. Let's take a look at what this watch is going for today. So when you look at this video, you can have a better idea of what you're going to pay. All right, so right now, instant coupon, you're getting it for $420. It's listed for $1,300 and then $840 and then $420. Let's see if the Phatkat 15 coupon code works on this one here. So Phatkat 15 does not work on this right here. So, this is something I'm going to talk to them about. When they put on the sale, you guys are looking to buy watches, through my videos. There should be, you took the time to learn about the brand, you took the time to watch the video and actually make the decision to buy. I'd like to see you get some kind of discount on top of, I don't want 15% off on an $800 watch when they're going to go ahead and throw it on for 50% off. You should get a little something, whether that's, and I am working with them on their pricing a bit. We got to get these watches. We don't need to put it on for $1,300 because then you're just people. You don't want to do what Invicta did, is with these huge MSRPs when you never sell them like that. You don't want to be a watch company that's always on sale, right? You want to be a watch company that says, hey, competitively priced, Awesome designs, great style. They have sales sometimes. You'll save a little bit. Fat Cat Collections give you a little bit of a coupon code savings. And I know that even if I buy it for their normal price, I'm not going to get totally burned, right? So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a fantastic day and take care.